Hello! If you've been following this channel for a while, you know that it's been a long time since I posted a video. I did recently hit 1,000 subscribers, so that's really exciting. Thank you to everybody who has subscribed. And I say this every time, but I really am going to try to be more consistent about making videos. As you can kind of probably see from the mess on my shelves behind me and over there, my office is a complete disaster right now. So today is going to be like a quick unhauling video. I need to get rid of some of the books on my shelves and make room for some of the ones I picked up. And I really just need to clean and organize my office space. I've been drafting book 3 in my young adult fantasy series, or at least I started drafting it. I have not made very much progress. A lot of that, honestly, is because I've just been busy with a lot of stuff. And then also, like, I don't know, it's like this space is getting so cluttered that it's like starting to bother me. It's like, I want a fresh start. I want to like really start being serious about this draft and like actually working through it. But like also every time I walk into this room, it makes me kind of just stressed a little bit because it's so messy. So we need to clean things up first and unhaul some books. And then also at some point I would like to make a video about the convention that I did recently, because that was a lot of fun. So we're going to clean and organize today, make another video about the convention that will go up hopefully next week, and then get back to writing. Let's just take a quick look at the mess we're dealing with. I do have no new prints on my art wall, which makes me super happy. But everything down here is like a disaster. This is the outline that I'm working on for my book. It's very chaotic. The window's very dirty too. We'll just ignore that. These are starting to melt and fall off the wall, so I need to do something about that. And then my bookshelf is just, like, the top looks decent, right? It's not terribly disorganized. But that is not acceptable. Okay, I just finished going through my bookshelves and pulling a bunch of stuff off the shelves that I'm gonna get rid of. I think I'm gonna take these around to like a little free libraries or something like that and just donate them there. But really quick, let me show you what I'm unhauling. So this is a book that I have had since I was a teenager, and I remember reading it. It's about like a princess or something. The characters are in a book and they end up like coming out of the book somehow. I can't remember it very well. At one point I did want to reread this, so I kind of have held onto it, but honestly, like there's just so many other things that I want to read at this point. So I'm just gonna get rid of this one. That's a lot of the reason why I'm getting rid of a lot of these, honestly, is my reading tastes have changed over the years. I am more into reading like adult speculative fiction and upper YA kind of stuff. So this just isn't one that I can see myself reading again. So we're gonna give it to someone who maybe will be more interested. Next, I have these 3 books, which I picked up when I was going to college. We lived near a bookstore and it was going out of business and closing. So I picked up a bunch of books from there for really cheap. I do still have some of those, and I've actually read some of those that I picked up during that sale. These 3 I have not read, and again, just because my reading tastes have changed so much, I just don't really see myself reading these or being interested in these anytime soon. They are The Great American Whatever and Pieces, and then Trance. And this one actually sounded kind of interesting. Like I debated kind of holding on to this one. Ultimately, after reading through, just skimming through some of the pages, I think I am going to get rid of it, but it does sound interesting. Next, I have Volume 1 of the Chrono Crusade manga. I actually watched this anime when I was a teenager, and it was a really big inspiration for the book that eventually became Tethered Spirits. So I picked this one up, and I was planning to maybe read the whole manga at some point, but I just don't see myself doing that anymore. So we're gonna donate this one as well. I do really like this series though, or at least I like the anime. So if you're looking for a new anime to watch, definitely check this one out. Next I have True Sight. I think this is part of a trilogy, and a friend actually sent me this. I've never read it. Again, there's just so many things on my TBR that I want to read, and this is not something that's grabbing my attention right now. Next I have this book. This is Far from the Tree. It doesn't have a dust jacket. I think it was a library copy. originally, and then I took the jacket off because it had a sticker on it, and we all hate stickers on books and trying to pull them off, and then it destroyed the dust jacket. I did read this one. I actually listened to it on audiobook. It was pretty good. I think if I remember right, it was about some siblings who were adopted separately from each other, and then when they're older, like in their teenage years, they reconnect. I think for me, because of the job that I have working with kids who are like in foster care or adopted out of foster care, there were things about this book that just like didn't work for me. And I can't specifically remember what they were, but I do remember like it starting off really good, but then by the end I was just frustrated with certain things that felt unrealistic. I think it would probably work fine for most people, honestly. I think honestly it's really just the job I have. So I'm gonna donate this one and hopefully it will work better for somebody else. I also have a few indie books that I'm getting rid of, and I always feel kind of bad getting rid of indie books. As an indie author, I love like being able to support indie authors and have other indie books on my shelf. At this point though, with these ones, I do feel like they're kind of just gonna sit around collecting dust on my shelf, and it would be better to like put them out into the world for other people to have a chance to read them and maybe pick something up that they wouldn't otherwise. I have these two books by Beth Martin, At Fault and Mental Contact. I think I got these in a giveaway a few years ago as part of like in December, the readathon. I do have another book by Beth Martin on my shelf that I want to read that I'm holding on to because it does sound really interesting. These two just didn't really grip my attention as much based on the description. And, you know, once again, it's a matter of like having too much to read and not enough time. And then I have Malfunction by J.E. Pirazzi. I have read, I think, the second book in this trilogy as well. I don't think I read book 3 yet. Maybe I did. I'm not 100% sure. I did read this one. I did enjoy it. It's a good like dystopian kind of sci-fi trilogy. The characters are very memorable. Ultimately, I don't think I would reread this, and I just want other people to have a chance to experience it. And also, since I have been reading the series on ebook, I don't know, I'm gonna get rid of this one and just like hold on to the ebooks that I have. If I ever want to reread it, I can do it that way. And then I have a whole bunch of books by Tolkien. These are not like the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I am a huge fan of Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit and like his main story books. But these are like extra ones, like all the side stories and like the world building stuff that I am just like not that into anymore. They're kind of boring, honestly. So I'm not gonna keep them. And I do feel kind of bad about it because I love Tolkien and like whatever, like, I don't know, revoke my Tolkien fan card if you want to, but I'm just not going to read these. Somebody else will find them and love them, hopefully. And then last but not least, I have a whole bunch of copies of my own books. So these are like, I have 4 copies of Renegades of Peace and then 2 copies of Survivors of Peace. And unfortunately, I don't have any more copies of the first book, Secrets of Peace, with the old covers like this. I think what I'm going to do with these is I am going to like wrap them up, maybe kind of like I do the series bundles for like the conventions that I do. And then I'm going to stick like a card or a note or something of where people can download book 1, and in some cases books 1 and 3, because I have extras of Renegades, and then I'll leave them in the little free libraries. I don't know if that's a great idea, but it's like the best idea that I have, and I just need to get rid of them. I've had them on my shelf for a really long time, like 2 years at least, and hopefully somebody else will find them and decide to like pick up the ebook of the first book and start there, or if they want to, you know, pick up book 1, the paperback, and just have the mismatched copies, that's totally fine. But they just have to go somewhere. I can't keep them. It took me about 2 hours, but check out how much better this looks. Rearrange some things. I did unfortunately have to take all of my kids' artwork off the wall, but I was able to save some of it and put it in a binder thing. And the bookshelf is so much more organized. Oh, okay. That only took me like 2 hours, which is more time than I wanted to spend on it, but it looks great now. So it's all ready to make videos and at least feel like a better working environment. So hopefully we can get back to drafting soon, and I'll have a better update for you on the progress of Riven Empire, which is book 3 in my young adult fantasy series. In the meantime, you can pick up books 1 and 2 I am hoping to really start uploading a little more frequently. I am going to record a video about doing Fan Expo in Denver as like an author and an artist and some things I learned. So stay tuned for that. That should be coming out in a week or so. Please feel free to subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of my videos in the future. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.